Yes, we are live,
Hi,
Ishan.
this is Shahane from Red Sports, and you're tuning in for a special show here. This is a fan poll question show. We're going to debate some interesting questions that have been trending on Twitter and social media. So it's going to be an open debate for all my guests. Let me introduce my guests first. We've got Shubhayan Chakrabarti, Bharat Ramaraj, and Shomik as well joining us for the show. So thank you all for joining, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in as well. So to my guests, these are the most trending questions that have been out there. Some of them might be controversial, but please feel free to answer it in your own way. A difference of opinion will be appreciated as well because it'll be nice to have a different point of view to look at things. So let's get started off with question number one. And I think this is the most important question from the lot is, and that is of Virat Kohli, because after his performance last night, a lot of questions were raised. Some of them, there was one group of people that really appreciated his knock, while there was another section of people that maybe thought he played too slow. So it's an open debate. Shubhayan, why don't you get started off here? Your first thoughts.
See, I don't have much to add. All the cricket fans are, especially the Virat fans, are very intelligent, very knowledgeable fans. So I'll leave it to them. But 16 deliveries in the last 5 overs. He scored. He faced 16 deliveries in the last 5 overs, scored 21 runs, 5 dot balls, and only 2 boundaries. If that is acceptable to Virat fans and RCB fans in modern day T20 cricket, then I think then that is their opinion, their understanding of the game. But at the same time, Dinesh Karthik played 8 deliveries, scored 20 runs, scored a few boundaries here and there. And just 15 minutes after that, we all saw what Phil Salt and Sunil Narine did uh, in that particular pitch. So I don't have much to add about Virat Kohli. He's a legendary batsman, but I think his T20 game is backdated.
Yes, Shomik, I think Shubhayan is right here because he did have an impact, but that impact I feel didn't last for too long. That impact should have taken RCB maybe to 200, 210. Unfortunately, they only managed getting 180. So would you agree with Shubhayan? You're on mute.
Absolutely, I agree with Shubhan, Ishan. See, in modern T20 game, uh, if you score 180 odd, 99 times out of 100 you will lose.
Hmm.
200 has become the new normal. That is number one. And modern T20 game doesn't allow you to pace your innings in your own, irrespective of whether you are losing wickets at the other end, whatever be the conditions. Unless the pitch is very tough, unless the ball is doing a lot of, unless the ball is doing, moving
Yes.
laterally or turn square, you'll have to up the ante. You'll have to take the game forward consistently. That is the thing we have seen yesterday also on the same pitch. And mind, in a T20 game, the nature of the pitch doesn't change overnight. I mean, it's a 3 hour game, half an hour, then 20 minutes, and then half an hour, 1.5 hour, 10 minutes, then 1.5 hour. So the pitch doesn't change much. From that point of view, we saw Sunil Narain scored at a strike rate of 216. Phil Salt scored at a strike rate of 150. 140 has become passe in this format. Uh, no disrespect to Virat Kohli, he is a great player in his own right, but T20 game has moved on.
Yes, I think the T20 game seems to be moving on. Bharat, you being a Bangalore boy, are you going to support Virat Kohli here, or are you going to be practical and state the hard facts?
See, I will try to be balanced as much as I can. So, first of all, let us think about some of the quotes from the players who actually played in that game. This is from Venkatesh Iyer. He says the wicket was too paced and double bounce in first innings. It was very difficult to hit boundaries in the first innings and pitch caught better in the to bat in the second innings. It's his point of view. This guy played in that particular match. Then let us think about what Faf to Plessis say. Okay, now you can tell Faf to Plessis was the losing captain, so he's going to give an excuse. So let us leave him. So let us think about Mr. Shai Sayer. Shai Sayer says from one end it was easy to bat, from the other end it was too paced. Again, he's the winning captain, so he can't be giving an excuse. So we have to consider the variables here. Okay, now we can argue that in 15 minutes, how did the pitch change? Let me try to explain it in a layman's terms. It was kind of little bit of there was a little bit of loopy bounce early on in the first innings, and what happens is, see, at Chinnaswamy, you get these black soil pitches. Since 2017, they revamped Chinnaswamy. They revamped somewhere in 2016 or 17 the squares. Since then, they have been using black soil pitches, and occasionally, I'm not saying everywhere in India it happens, but we have seen in at certain venues in night games, even if there's a little bit of moisture, the pitch tends to bind together a little better as the game progresses, little better. So it's not like the pitch changed dramatically in 15 minutes. I think over a period of time, or say 1.5 hours, the pitch changed a little bit and it became better to bat. Now again you can question how come then that Virat Kohli couldn't score runs right at the back end of RCB's innings, and then afterwards suddenly in 15 minutes these guys went and scored so many runs, Naren and Pilsall. But again, he was batting against the old ball, whereas these guys were batting against the hard new ball, so it was coming on the bat a lot better. I'm not saying the conditions changed drastically, but certain black soil pitches in India with don't have that much clay content. So in night games, when there is a bit of moisture, little bit of tube, it kind of binds together a little better. So that's what I would say. I'm not saying Virat Kohli played an exceptional innings. He didn't play an exceptional innings. Let us be sure about that. He didn't play an exceptional innings, but I don't think he played a bad innings considering the conditions. If Mr. Kohli had got out very early, then RCB might have not even got 150, because if you notice, even Andre Russell was getting some loopy bounce on the two-paced wicket. Harshit Rana was getting some loopy bounce. So it's not exactly great conditions for batting. It was, I would say, average conditions for batting when you consider T20 cricket at the start, and then it, I think, got better. And it's just not just me. Even Venkatesh Iyer and Shai Sir, who actually played in that game, are saying so. And these guys were on the winning side, so you can't
Yes.
tell that they were giving an excuse. So that is where I will end it. I'm not saying it was an exceptional innings, but it was a good enough innings.
Yes, Shubham.
See, Kohli played out 59 deliveries. Okay, scored 83 runs, 4 boundaries, 4 sixes. Total of eight boundary count. Maxwell played 19 deliveries, scored half of the boundaries which Virat Kohli scored, 3 boundaries, 1 6. Strike rate of 147.37 for Glenn Maxwell. Cameron Green played 21 deliveries, 4 boundaries, 2 sixes. 6 boundary count in total. Strike rate of 157. Dinesh Karthik, 8 balls, 20 runs, 3 boundaries. Strike rate of 250. Okay, my point is simple. They were also playing in the same pitch. When Cameron Green was batting, he was trying to hit it. Of course, it was tough. I completely agree with Bharat. It was tough. I completely agree with all the takes that is going. That pitch was on the slower side. It had double bounce, etc., etc. KKR bowlers used the slower variations extremely well. They were very wise in using it. They mixed it up well. But if someone, Ishan, I'll ask you the same question. If your team is playing, your club team is playing, or your community team is playing a T20 match, and a team bats 10 overs, including the power play where there's field restrictions, the ball is new. Would you be happy with the score of 83 after 10 overs? You will say it's a mediocre start. We can pick it up in the next 10 overs. We should pick it up in the next 10 overs.
Yeah,
Right, but
100%. Yeah.
but I see. There's no harm in saying calling a spade a spade. It is
Yeah.
what it is. It was not a good innings. You can't fault out Glenn Maxwell for trying to hit and get out, because that was the requirement. He knew that 200 is a bare minimum where you are playing when you are playing in Chinnaswamy. Otherwise, team will come and smash you all over the park, especially given the kind of bowling attack RCB has right now. They are not a very
Shubham,
good bowling attack.
yes. Are you saying that, in the last 5 overs, a team would prefer an slogger? Just someone who comes out and slogs, because Virat Kohli, like Bharat mentioned, is good with a new ball when the ball's coming onto the bat. But is he just not as effective when the ball gets old? Because he's not got those shots which can actually hit the cricket ball out of the stadium. He's more of a technical batsman. So do you think he's just not much of a slogger, which does not work out for him?
No, when I don't agree with that, because Virat Kohli, whenever he has played some knocks like this where he has batted throughout the 20 overs or 18 overs, or stayed like that, it's till the end. He has picked it up. He has picked up the momentum in the last 5 overs. He has an exceptional strike rate from over number 15 to over number 20 whenever he has batted. Yesterday, it did not come off. I give it to him. But if the fans are saying our bowling attack is weak, the pitch was slow, the KKR bowlers were good, just accept it. It was not a good innings. Virat was trying to slog it in the last 5 overs, but it did not come off. And that is where you need a brain like Ravichandran Ashwin. If it is not coming off, I'll give Mayank Dagar a couple of overs and see whether he can hit it or not. Alzari Joseph can hit the ball a long way, and Mayank Dagar is a proven hitter in the domestic circuit. So that is what I'm saying. Even in the last ball, if I can go through the thing very quickly, Virat Kohli did not attempt the single. There was a single for the taking. Kohli run out, yes. As
Hmm.
Dinesh Karthik got run out. They could have crossed the line and take one extra single, but Kohli said no, 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 I don't want to run. So Kohli and DK got run out there. So these are the
100%.
small things which comes to notice. He's a legendary
No, you're
batsman,
right.
no doubt
All
about
these
it.
small
But
things,
but
yes, I think all these small things
is
matter.
carrying the bat an important factor in T20 cricket? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
will
You know,
just
another
add a
question.
couple of points. Just a couple of points. Just a couple of points. Virat Kohli, he brought up Glenn Maxwell's strike rate when he was on 28 or whatever of 19 balls. If you notice,
Mhm.
Virat Kohli also at that time, his first 19 deliveries, he had scored 28 and his strike rate was 145 to 150. So he also was going at that time at that kind of a strike rate. Only after that, the conditions got slightly worse to bat. Maybe around 12, 14 overs, it got slightly worse to bat. So I'm not very sure that's the right way to go about it, because when Maxwell is batting, I think the conditions were still uh, decent enough to hit, and it was a hard new ball as well. And another thing I just noticed, this RCB guys bowled 24% of the deliveries on a short of length, that is slow short deliveries. They try
Hmm.
24% of the deliveries were slow short deliveries, whereas Kolkata Knight Riders it was 51%. So the double number of times Kolkata Knight Riders tried the slower ball. So that also another variable you have to consider. KKR bowled much better than RCB. You can see it in stats as well. So this sort of variables you have to consider when looking at Kohli's innings. As I said, it was. I'm not saying it
And
was
that is
his
the
greatest.
exact and that is the exact point I'm saying, Bharat. Given the weakness of RCB's bowling lineup, if you are Kohli, if you are Glenn Maxwell, if you are someone from that RCB bowling unit, you would know that I have to score extra 30 runs because our bowling unit is weak.
Let me come to that. I'm not saying it was the greatest innings played by Kohli, obviously not by country mile, but I think it
Hmm.
was considering all the factors around that they had lost some wickets in the middle overs as well, suddenly. Uh, and only it was Virat Kohli, I guess, who got that kind of big score. And then you consider the other variables like conditions, which got slightly better. I'm not saying it got a lot better, and also the fact that RCB bowled poorly. I think it was a good enough knock. I don't think it was a bad knock. Yes, I'm completely against anchor batting. I'm not someone who is ever for anchor kind of batting, but I think yesterday he played a good enough knock. Won't say it was a bad knock, considering all the
But
variables.
I think it's a good enough knock which did not help them in securing that win. So, I think that question
Again,
over there can be quite debatable.
I just
It'll be a
one,
great
one, one,
knock. It'll
just
be a
one
good
more
knock
thing.
if he could have gone and made them, win that game. But would you call it a good knock, Shivan? Because Bharat Singh, it's a good knock, but technically a good knock is one which helps you go over the line. So,
That six against Mitchell Stark was a good shot. That was a terrific shot. The flick of wrist over cow corner for a six.
yes.
That was a good shot. He started well. He started well in even in the last game where he scored some 77 of 50 deliveries. It was a good start. But again, Virat Kohli's problem is when he's batting in the middle overs in
Hmm.
T20 cricket, not ODI, not Test cricket. I'm not bringing that. But in the middle overs, he always slows down. Uh, if Mahipal Lomror and Dinesh Karthik did not play those knocks in the last game, RCB would have lost the game.
Probably, yeah.
So if you
Yeah,
have
sure.
picked up the momentum in the power play, T20 cricket is all about keep going, don't stop, don't stop. That is what I'm saying.
Yes, Shaumin, you wanted to say something?
Sean, Shubhan very rightly has pointed out the middle overs. If you go back to the last year's IPL, Virat Kohli's strike rate, especially against spin in the middle overs, was 110. In that phase, he had made just 32 boundary attempts. During that phase, if you compare him with Surya Kumar Yadav had made 59 boundary attempts. Now leave aside, just for a moment, leave aside tomorrow's game and look at the bigger picture. The T20 World Cup is coming, right? Now, just purely not from a brand's point of view, just purely from a cricketing point of view, do you see Virat Kohli in the playing 11? Because I give you the 11. Rohit Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal, number 3 Surya Kumar Yadav, number 4 Hardik Pandya, number 5 Rishabh Pant, number 6 is number 6 is
Rinku Singh.
Rinku Singh, number 7 is Ravindra Jadeja. Where do you fit in Virat Kohli? That is my question. And I mean, it's not about just brand building. I'm not going into the commercial aspects of the game. I'm just sticking purely to cricket. So, does it fit into that 11? The question has to be asked. If we go back to the last T20 World Cup in the semi-finals, Virat Kohli stayed till the end. India made 170 odd, right? England knocked that over in with 3 overs to spare. They won by 10 wickets. So that is the way modern. And after that game, India brought in a change. They embraced the modern T20 style. The question is, does Kohli's batting fit into that modern T20 style? It's not about just one game in isolation. It's about the whole. It's about the new philosophy. Does it fit
Yes.
into that philosophy? Does it fit into that new style of play?
And and
That's true.
and uh, and uh, and at number three, he won't get power play overs every game. So that is also something which needs to be considered.
True, that's a fair point, and Shomik was actually going to bring that up. And it's an interesting point of debate here because if Virat Kohli plays, he's most likely going to play as an opener. And is that the risk the Indian team also take? Is question one. And then second, we have young Jaiswal, who's in good form, hasn't performed in the first two games. But if he goes on to have a wonderful IPL, then this raises serious concerns, Shubhan, because if Jaiswal has a good IPL, then does Virat Kohli still feature in that squad? Because you don't want to play Virat Kohli at number 3 or 4, because then he might have to go on and bat the later end of the innings, which is not the best at doing. So it's a point of debate. Where do you see this going?
See, that's
Just
for the selectors to that's for the selectors to decide that. That's why they're being paid. Our job is to say what is happening on the field, and what I said, what Bharat said, what Shomik said is what happened on the field. Virat started well. We applauded that. It was a great six against Mitchell Stark. My point is, when Cameron Green was batting with Virat Kohli, Green took on Sunil Narine. Virat was seen praising him, but why can't he also take the strike, take the attack from the other end? That will also release the pressure from Cameron Green. And had Virat Kohli done that, I think Green could have played a longer innings with a similar strike rate that he was going about. He was picking the deliveries and smashing them all over the park. He's a strong boy. But if that responsibility solely comes onto the shoulders of Cameron Green, that's where the pressure starts building, and that is why you saw Glenn Maxwell also trying to hit everything and got out. That's why you also saw Rajat Patidar. He's an exception case right now. He's not batting really well according to his potential. But Glenn Maxwell and Cameron Green, I think both the dismissals came just due to the pressure that we need to accelerate from this end, because from the other end it's all about singles and twos in those middle over phase. That is what my issue is. If RCB fans are happy with Virat Kohli's innings, if they are happy with losing the game, then I don't mind anything.
Hmm.
Well,
Bharat's got
I'll
a
just
smile.
add one point. I'll just add one
And
point.
Ishan, I mean, the Virat Kohli's fans, the Viratians, will come hard as at us, the Virat critics. We are not Virat critics to start with. We are just presenting the picture, what has transpired on the pitch. How come he is so successful against Pakistan? That could be one of the fan question also, and that could be one of the counter logic for the Viratians.
Hmm.
Now, Virat is very, very successful against Pakistan because Pakistan plays T20 cricket in a template of 1990s one day cricket. That's why Virat is so very successful against them. Pakistan plays a T20 brand that is from a bygone era.
Our
Look
very
at
own
their lineup.
Rajaraman, our very own Rajaraman sir has asked why does everyone keep on forgetting that Virat has come back after 2 months?
Yeah, I think he thinks we're being a little too harsh on Virat Kohli. Bharat,
No, no,
I will just
we are not being
I
harsh
will just
here.
add one point.
The
I will
T20.
just add
Yes, Bharat, go.
a previous point. You said the good knock didn't lead to victory. I will
hmm,
just say it is a team game. Finally, it is a team game. So was Virat Kohli the main reason why they lost? I don't think that was the main reason that
No, no, no.
the RCB lost. So criticizing him, I think completely criticizing him. I don't think is the right way to go. It was a good knock in my view. If where RCB lost, I think their bowling. I don't usually use that word outside, but the bowling was pathetic yesterday. I have to say it was pathetic because you just see the stats, any stats, the kind of slow short deliveries that KKR used and kind of slow short deliveries RCB used. Even when Alzare Joseph was bowling, when he went fuller, it didn't swing at all. It didn't seem at all. Even in test cricket, it's hurt
yeah,
him because whenever he goes full, he doesn't do anything. Alzare Joseph, he just bowls hit the deck skills he does and bowls back off length. But when he goes full, he doesn't do anything. Sunil Narayan absolutely smashed him. Yash Dayal for no reason. He was getting so much of swing in the previous game. Suddenly he's bowling back off length, trying to bounce out. Narayan again got smashed. Rightly got smashed. I think the RCB's bowling yesterday, barring that Vijay Kumar Vaishak, who actually bowled slow short deliveries and gave away what among seamers, I'm saying, gave away some 24 runs, 25 runs at an economy rate of around six. It was very very poor. I think that is where they lost. So I would back my statement. What I said, I don't think it was an exceptional innings, but I think it was a good knock and not the main reason why RCB lost. Yeah, T20 World Cup, we can get to that on another day, whether Virat Kohli actually deserves a place there. Though I would always tell if Rohit Sharma finds a place in the squad, then Virat Kohli has to get in because uh, with you great respect Rohit Sharma and Rohit Sharma's fans, Virat Kohli is a better T20 player and has put on some enough game breaking performances. So if he gets in,
yeah.
then Virat Kohli has to get in. I know you can again tell I'm using a
Then we
default.
should bring back a Ravichandran Ashwin,
Yeah, but
Dinesh
I'm
Karthik,
using
Bhuvneshwar
default,
Kumar.
default,
Let's get the
default
band back
manner,
for one last dance.
default manner. But I would, what I'm trying to tell is, if you want to start with a clean slate, then you shouldn't have either Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. Once you have one of them, I think it becomes a very tricky situation where you're leaving another cricketer who, in T20 cricket at least, is a better batter.
See,
Yeah, I
many
mean,
must be asking, Ishan, many must be asking why we are only harping about Virat Kohli because from this RCB unit, RCB is the talk of the town after last night's match. Tomorrow we will move on to KL Rahul
yeah.
because Virat Kohli is the bone of contention for the T20 World Cup. Next day, tomorrow we will discuss the same thing about KL Rahul because he is the bone of contention for the T20 World Cup, and both
I
have the
couldn't agree.
same issue. And
Yeah,
both have the
100%.
same issue. I can say Yash Dayal bowled poorly. He kept on giving it to in the slot, but that doesn't give you a bigger picture. Of course, it will have some relevance for RCB and RCB fans, but in the bigger picture, in the larger context, it doesn't have Yash Dayal or a Vijay Kumar Vaishak for this moment for this T20 World Cup. It doesn't have any relevance. And that is why we are saying we keep on harping about Virat Kohli because every time RCB plays, he's the main man in focus. Then don't put Virat Kohli in the hero camp. He's coming after 2 months, but the selectors when they said to pick the T20 World Cup, they won't see oh Virat Kohli has come after T20 World Cup. He scored at a strike rate of 130, 140. Let's give him one T20 World Cup because he's a great player. They won't think about it. Rishabh
It's
Pant,
going to
there
be
were
purely
many
on the
talks.
performances of the IPL.
There has been many talks that he's coming after 14 months. He will be there in the T20 World Cup. But if he has a good IPL,
No, and Shubhayan,
nobody
at the
will
end of
give
the day,
him,
you want to
nobody
play
will
your
give
best
Rishabh
cricket.
Pant the, yeah, of
Yes.
course, and nobody will give
You don't
Rishabh
want to
Pant
play
the free
Virat Kohli
cushion.
just because he's been the legend Virat Kohli, which he is, and we all respect him for that. But
And
eventually,
and I agree with what Bharat is also saying. Rohit Sharma's T20 I numbers are abysmal. They are bad. But Rohit Sharma with what he has done with the leadership group, All the players support him. All the players look up to him. His intent, like whatever happened in the ODI World Cup, it changed. We are seeing even in the last match, against Sunrisers, Rohit was the one who kick-started it. He was not
Hmm.
like, okay, I have to save my wicket because they have scored 270, 280 runs. I have to save my wicket. I have to keep on taking singles. He played in one gear that I have to hit sixes, otherwise we won't win. He got out
Yeah.
in that thing. It's okay, but even for that matter, England has the same template. Australia has the same template. That's why they are world champions right now, because every team. Ravichandran Ashwin in his YouTube video said the same thing. Everyone in that squad buys that logic that if we have to go hard, we will go hard. Nobody is an anchor. Nobody plays a second role.
Which I think you should answer. There's a fan who's made a statement. Take this up, Athil. What has Rohit Sharma done to be in the 11? How are we announcing him to start uh, just cause he's a captain?
So we'll take
This
that.
is because, shall I take this question?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. The thing is that, first of all, Rohit Sharma has changed his game. Over the last 2 years, Rohit Sharma in white ball cricket has changed his game. Shubhan mentioned his batting against Sunrisers Hyderabad. He could have preserved his wicket. He didn't do that.
Hmm.
In the World Cup, he has been the most selfless batter in the Indian team. The way he gave Indian team starts in every game. And number two, you need a leader. Rohit Sharma is an undisputed leader in that dressing room.
Yeah.
Everyone respects him. Everyone loves him. He is an undisputed leader. Rohit Sharma, Indian team is not complete without Rohit Sharma. But Indian team can play the World Cup. I don't know whether it will happen or not. It's totally up to the selectors. But Indian team cannot be at the World Cup without Rohit Sharma. Indian team can be at the World Cup without Virat Kohli. It will not make that much of a difference.
Well, Indrajit Ghosh, I hope you got to answer there. Shubain, yes.
And just to add to that, Rohit and Virat both played the Afghanistan T20I series just before the IPL in January, just after the South Africa series. Rohit got two ducks. First one was the run out, second one he got a golden duck. But in the third match, he scored some 121 runs in 69 deliveries. So he has that game right now. He is in that nick that he can score big if he starts. Even if he doesn't convert it into a big one, he will play 20 deliveries, but he will give you 40 runs. That is the kind of template Rohit is batting right now at that.
Okay, and before we wrap this segment up, we have to talk about Mohammad Siraj here as well. He's been one of India's leading bowlers. Unfortunately,
Yes,
he's
yes.
been out of rhythm, and it's kind of a worrying sign, Shubhain, because you don't want one of your premium bowlers going out of form. It's too early to say, to be fair, but still not looking impressive at all, if we're being quite frank, in the last two games.
See, I have always said this. I don't judge bowlers when they are bowling at the Chinnaswamy, especially. But given that RCB were chasing and Siraj being a senior international player right now, he should have read the pitch far quickly than he did. He should have taken cue from how the KKR bowlers were bowling, especially Andre Russell, the way he was mixing up 148 and the second delivery was coming at 112. So you need to
Yeah.
start looking at opposition also, how they are doing. Okay, they did these things right. That's why our batters struggle to get going. Can we do the same thing? Vijay Kumar Vaishak did that. He bowled hard lengths, but the slower ones, the cutters, that came into play. But Yash Dayal, he's still like inexperienced. I expect Mohammad Siraj to go to a Yash Dayal and say, okay, bro, I think you should bowl harder lengths and use the cutters because I am also doing so. If Siraj keeps on bowling slot deliveries, then it won't help him also. It won't help the team also. And you are right that he hasn't had a good start in the IPL. But again, expecting Virat Kohli, expecting Mohammad Siraj to pick up pace from here on. Because if they keep going like that, then it's worrisome for India, and that's not what we want.
I'll just
Well,
add a
it's any.
point on Siraj. Yeah. See, I'll go back to that stat which said that KKR about 51% of the deliveries, slower deliveries, they about 51%, and RCB about 24%. And a lot of it is due to Mohammad Siraj and Yash Dayal as well. If you notice how he tried to blast out KKR. It felt like Jeff Thompson. He was trying to bowl like Jeff Thompson on a slow pitch, and got hammered, rightly hammered. So the thing with Siraj is, even if you notice in Test cricket, it's not someone who is going to give you consistency. He will once in a while, somewhere from nowhere, he will, as you saw in the Test series as well in Rajkot, he took 4 wickets. Rest of the 7 innings, how many wickets did he take? Two. So he's one of those bowlers who will give you good performance, and then 5 6 not so much good for 5 6 bad performances or poor performances. And in T20 cricket, I think it gets exposed a little more, because in T20 cricket, you can't just bowl attacking lens. You have to be very defensive in your lens, and that is where I think Siraj is a problem. Even if you look at his IPL numbers, he's averaging 55 this year. 2022, I think he averaged 57, and 2021 he averaged 32. So it's not much of a wicket taker. Only last year I think he did well in the last 4 seasons. So that is because it was a lot of attacking test match lens, and in T20 cricket it doesn't really work. So he has to do something about it, because it's not 22 or 21 anymore. He's a experienced bowler at least. I'm not saying a veteran bowler, experienced bowler. So he has to improve his defensive lens, especially going to the T20 World Cup in conditions where the conditions might be on the slower side, and you need bowlers to mix it up, vary your
Yeah.
pace. In that sense, guys like Mohit Sharma and or Sandeep Sharma might be saying, "Take us to West Indies," because we might do better, because we bowl a lot more of these cutters and the slow short ones. So Siraj has to obviously raise his game, because others are there waiting in the wings.
Yep. Well, I think very well mentioned there, Bharat. Shomik, a great point mentioned by Bharat is that he's not been consistent. So is it good enough? Because at one end you might have Bumrah, who's seeming in really good form. Even in that game against Sunrisers, he was the only bowler who didn't really get smashed. I think the last over, Klaasen hit him for 2 4s, and that was about it. But is Siraj good enough if we are, thinking about him coming in this T20 World Cup squad? Because we'll have Bumrah on one end, and you don't want someone like Siraj leaking runs from the other end.
See, it won't be proper for us to say Siraj is not good enough. But then again, fast bowling has been a concern for India, because who beyond Bumrah? That is the question. Arshdeep Singh is getting smashed. Siraj is getting smashed. So who beyond Jasprit Bumrah? That is one area, and fast bowling remains an area of concern for this Indian team, because Mohammad Shami is injured and he is ruled out. So that's a huge blow. Who can fill in who can come in and fill into his shoes? That is the question. So from that point of view, this is one area selectors will be looking hard and thinking. Umran Malik is not getting regular games; he is being used as an impact sub. So who beyond Bumrah is one area the selectors are going to think seriously hard. And Siraj is basically a little inconsistent in this format. One day he bowls well, the other day he doesn't. So Siraj is a bit inconsistent, and he is a bit inconsistent with his line and length also, especially in T20 cricket. And when he gets it, I mean, unlike Bumrah, if you hit Bumrah for a four, he will come up with a response. Siraj usually doesn't do that in this format. So this is a fast bowling overall. Siraj is a cog in the wheel. Fast bowling overall beyond Bumrah is an area of concern for India going into the T20 World Cup.
Yes, Shubha.
And Ishan, the squad for the T20 World Cup, I'm saying it on record, will be picked in the last week of April. So the players have only 3 weeks, 20, 25 days to play their matches and prove themselves. Siraj is a good bowler, very good bowler, no doubt about it. Arshdeep Singh is another one in contention who has been very mediocre for India and for his domestic side as well, for in this season at least. So he also needs to buckle up his shoes. Otherwise, as Shomik said, the pace bowling department, Hardik will bowl four. Bumrah will give you 4 overs. Jadeja will give you 4 overs, and maybe Kuldeep or Akshar or whoever plays, they will have another couple of spinners, especially in West Indies. So you need the pacers, other two pacers to come really good. Number one is Siraj, number two is Arshdeep Singh. Otherwise, things can get really tricky for India.
Like,
Just at a
might
point,
be,
just at a point. everyone has taken up Bumrah's name. So how does Bumrah bowl in T20 cricket? If you notice, as soon as a batter hits his fuller length deliveries, it straight away goes back of length, occasionally hits the deck, and then bowls a couple of slow short deliveries, and then mixes it up nicely. But look at other Indian bowlers, even Ashdeep Singh, his name was mentioned. He bowls a lot of floaty stuff. It's very difficult these days to nail the Yorkers. I'm not saying don't try to nail the Yorkers, but in this day and age where modern day batters are staying so far deep in the crease and they're playing these laps and scoops,
Hmm.
it's not easy to nail the Yorkers. There's no real buffer for low full toss as well, and that is where I think some of the Indian pace bowlers are lacking because they don't bowl enough of defensive length. So just look at what has happened to Mitchell Stark. He performed so well in 2015 IPL, but it's 9 years back. He's coming back to IPL and he's bowling full length and looking for an outside edge. Then in the end overs, he's looking to bowl Yorkers and is getting smashed everywhere.
Yeah.
So the T20 cricket, I think, has moved on a lot. We have already talked about power hitting in the same sense. T20 cricket bowling as well, it has moved on a lot, and you need to bowl a lot more defensively. Actually, I had a long conversation with Eric Simmons a couple of years ago for my former company, and he also talked a lot. Actually, he talked a lot more than me about bowling defensive lengths, bowling wide Yorkers, bowling this slower short ones. How you should look to maximize your best deliveries, and that is where I think some of the Indian bowlers, pace bowlers, barring Jasprit Bumrah, they're lacking in. They just don't do enough of it.
No, you're right,
And
brother. I
also
think it'll be
keep an eye on Deepak Chair as well during this
yes.
first phase of IPL.
I think there's a lot of cricket left, so the IPL is going to tell us how things are going to unfold. But this sums up our debate. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope all of you all as well did. And to everyone who's tuned in, it was a heated debate session, which I think is important from time to time. And to everyone who's tuned in, thank you for tuning in. This sums it up. Stay tuned to Ref Sports for more.